Bill.
Mr Speaker, in taking a brief call in this first reading debate of the Electoral Amendment Bill, I'd like to congratulate our very fine and very hard-working Minister of Justice, the Honourable Judith Collins, and also Tim McIndoe, the member for Hamilton West, who chaired the committee which undertook the review of the 2011 election. As the Minister and previous government speakers have canvassed, this bill implements 11 of the key recommendations from the Justice and Electoral Committee's inquiry into the 2011 general election, and these changes can be summarised in three main areas. They are updates to processes to both improve efficiency and take into account the possibilities offered by technological change. They offer tightening of rules to ensure fairness and integrity in our voting system, and they offer minor technical fixes to our otherwise pretty robust existing electoral law, that is, the law as implemented by the National-led government in the last term prior to the 2011 election. Among the improvements that this bill introduces, I particularly applaud the inclusion of a provision for full online enrolment using electronic identity verification through the government's RealMe system. It seems only sensible that in this era of the falling use of snail mail and increased uptake of online services, that enrolment to vote should be a process that can be completed completely electronically online. This will make it a much more convenient and efficient process for the end clients, that is the electors, and therefore we should see an increase in enrolment rates and the accuracy of the electoral roll. But it is also important that up-to-date safeguards and sureties against hacking, data corruption, identity theft and false registration should be deployed to protect the integrity of our electoral system. So it is good to see this as another practical implementation for the RealMe system. Provision for increased use of easy vote cards also seems pretty logical to me, and these will now be able to be used as the official record for an ordinary vote having been issued and as evidence that a special voter is enrolled and eligible to vote. These changes make very good sense in terms of streamlining the voting process. Extensions to the time frame for filing party vote declarations to 90 days, as we know this can be a fairly time-consuming and bureaucratic process for our various party officials, also seems like a fair measure, but this is balanced against tougher penalties for failing to meet the requirement to file expenses and donation returns within 15 days of the deadline, and late returns without reasonable excuse will now, actually contrary to what Mr Little said earlier, they will become a corrupt practice and therefore face much higher penalties than in the past. Treating loans to parties in a similar way to donations and making loans the subject of the same disclosure rules as donations also helps to strengthen the integrity of our already very sound system, which, as I learned at the Transparency International NZ branch workshop yesterday at Te Papa, which was also attended by the Honourable Phil Goff, our system is already perceived as being among the cleanest in the world. A high-integrity electoral system is one of the 13 key pillars that Transparency identify, along with uncorrupt public service, impartial judiciary, sound law enforcement authorities and an effective audit and review function, among others, which contribute to New Zealand being ranked as the #1 least corrupt country in the world in their survey. So we are doing well, but this legislation will help us stay ahead of the game and maintain our outstanding #1 ranking, which is so important to our exporters because of the international reputation and high trust levels in our country, our people and our products that this engenders. So for this, among other reasons, sir, I happily commend this bill to the House.
Members, this debate has concluded. The question is that the motion be agreed to. Those of that opinion will say aye. To the contrary, no. The ayes have it.
Bill, first reading.
The question is that the Electoral Amendment Bill be considered by the Justice and Electoral Committee. Those of that opinion will say aye. To the contrary, no. The ayes have it. Call on Government Order of the Day number 4.
Public Safety, Public Protection Orders Bill, first reading.